What's up, everybody? Steve Butts here with IGN. I'm here with my close personal friend, Dax Ginn, producer on the newest Batman game, Arkham Knight.
How you doing, Steve?
I'm very well, thank you. Super excited to see this game show up last night. Of course, we've seen it before, but got a look at some new things, and we're going to break those down in this trailer here. So tell us just very briefly, we're seeing Batman kind of suit up here.
Classic Batman suit up. The animation team and the character guys at Rocksteady always love bringing a new character design and suit design into any of the Batman games we do, but having the opportunity to see him kind of put all that stuff on, it's an awesome kind of moment for everyone on the team. And
Batman's known to be a loner, but here he's getting advice from Oracle, so he's got some folks on his side in this. It's not just him and Commissioner Gordon.
Absolutely, and more than anything in Batman Arkham Knight, you know, we really want to focus on the heroes and the allies around him, not just Batman versus the villains that he comes up against.
So let's stop for just a second. I mean, looking at this city, just the setting for this game is fantastic. You've got all these great kind of Art Deco touches and the dirigibles, like the blimps and stuff. It's very cool. What are some of your touchstones or inspirations for the look of this city?
So much of the inspiration for Arkham Knight comes from what we did in Arkham Asylum and Arkham City, and thinking about as technology and horsepower comes to us, what we can do with it and where we can push it. So we've always wanted to build out the entirety of Gotham City right from the early days of Arkham Asylum. So starting here at the top of Wayne Tower, so you were there in Bruce Wayne's personal office, suiting up into Batman, then diving off. The kind of insane altitude that you get off skyscrapers of that height really means that we can explore Gotham in that kind of vertical way, not just in a horizontal footprint anymore.
Tremendously vertical, and I love it. It's sort of like slightly gothic, but also kind of neon. But to me, like, it looks like Batman's flying here. Come on, come clean with us. He's flying.
Well, flight and gliding, they're different things, right? I mean, transitioning all of the momentum you get into glide, it's gliding, it's not flying.
Gotcha. Okay.
We're talking Batmobile, right? Come on, let's talk about the Batmobile.
So we saw the Batmobile come in there, and it came right in as he dropped down. How quick is that response time on the Batmobile when you're in the city?
It's never more than a few seconds away. So the Batmobile is always tracking Batman's location throughout the city. So with a single button press, boom, you can just call it in, and it will be there whenever you need it.
Fantastic. I got to say, so driving through the city, I imagine my Batman is doing a little more property damage than the person who's driving the car in this case. But yeah, so how many driving-related challenges will there be? Is there a lot of driving content in the game mechanically, or is it just a way to get from mission to mission?
Well, it's all stitched in. You know, we wanted it to feel like a Batman experience, not a Batman game with a driving component. And then the transformation of the Batmobile from pursuit mode into battle mode is a huge feature that we're really going heavy on at E3 this year. So we're talking a load about the offensive abilities that the Batmobile brings in battle mode.
Right, yeah, so let's talk about this. This is a change that players can make at any time in the game. This is not locked into specific sequences. And the Batmobile essentially turns into a tank. The movement gets a little different, too. It's not just driving forward and backward. You have lateral movement as well.
It's a fundamentally different mode of interaction, a different mode of gameplay. So when gamers are in pursuit mode, it's all about high-speed driving. When they transform into battle mode, it fundamentally changes what they can do. So the movement of the Batmobile, like you say, is much more about evasion. So when you're in a dogfight up against other tanks, you're dodging left and right, and then you've got the opportunity to fight back with onboard weaponry.
What I got to ask you is, a lot of people said Batman doesn't use guns, right?
Yep.
So how do you get away with that? How does that make sense in the world of Batman? You preserve the integrity of the character, but also have this cool gameplay element.
Well, that's the most important thing to us at Rocksteady. We don't want to break the rules of Batman, right? And Batman's attitude towards usage of weaponry and, more importantly, not killing is critical.
Okay, but he just killed that thing.
But
you have to admit he just killed that thing.
That's an unmanned tank, so it comes down to the enemy to design more than anything. So Batman can discern whether it's a live enemy or a drone enemy, and these tanks here are all unmanned drones. So he's using the heavy cannon, the Vulcan gun, to rip these tanks apart. But if he were to come up against, let's say, a soldier in the street, then he would automatically switch to the riot suppressor, which is less than lethal.
That's non-lethal. Now, when I looked at this, I thought, are those cop cars back there? Is the Arkham Knight actually trying to trick Batman in this case?
Cop cars? Where are you seeing cop cars?
These three things that he blows up right here with the missiles.
They're tanks.
Those are tanks.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
I wasn't able to tell.
And that move there, that missile barrage, when you just spam on the X button and you can unleash this kind of insane barrage missiles, that's like it's such an awesome move. I love using that.
And we just saw here just a second ago this new sort of gliding out of the Batmobile, which I totally love. Again, you say he's not flying. I'm going to take your word for this, but it certainly looks super awesome as he kind of leaps out of this and uses the momentum of the vehicle to kind of catapult him.
It's the ejector seat, the ultimate ejector seat.
So what happens to the Batmobile at that point? Does it just crash into the wall?
It then takes control of itself. You know, it's got AI navigation, and so it'll just track Batman's movement as he then goes off gliding through the city. So he can call it in at any time, so it's always just a few seconds away.
Right. So we've seen the glide attacks in previous games. Super fun to do that, but we're seeing something new come up here. There's an option for, I think, fear takedowns that comes out in this sequence. Tell us about that. How does that work? What is that?
It was something that we were looking at in Arkham City, because coming up against a thug with a gun fundamentally changes combat for Batman. He can take down a gang of 20 guys unarmed, no problem at all, but one of them with a gun changes everything. So in previous games, you'd have to sort of isolate those one guys. We wanted a single move that could seamlessly take down groups of armed thugs, and that's what the Fear Takedown does. Either 2 or 3 guys, if they're armed, with a single move, you can take them all out.
Gotcha. And we're seeing here the Penguin, right?
Oh, yeah.
So what's his role in the story? Like, why is Batman investigating him? What's he up to?
Penguin, as he has been interpreted in our previous games as well, is very much about running arms and supplying the various gang elements within Gotham City with everything they need to cause chaos and havoc. So this is a weapons cache of his, and you can see this insane mound of money.
Right.
So the way that Batman interacts with all of the key villains in Arkham Knight is very much, you can follow the core story against the Arkham Knight and Scarecrow, but you always also have these kind of massive encounters with all the key villains like Two-Face, Riddler, Penguin, etc.
I like seeing there also some sneaking around. Like, we see a lot of combat, we see a lot of driving this thing, but we haven't seen any detective mode, and we only see a little bit of exploration. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, something's going wrong here, Steve.
Oh my gosh, wait a minute, what's happening, Dax? I don't think this is
happened,
supposed to happen.
This has happened a couple of times before.
It must be our equipment.
It's terrifying.
But yeah, you see the Batman there using counters, taking down the Penguin. Is there detective mode in the game? Are you going to be showing that?
Absolutely, yeah. But oh my God, Steve, this is the big reveal! This is what we've been waiting for. We have been building up to this moment for so long in the studio, on the team.
Yeah.
The facial design of Scarecrow is absolutely terrifying. The design of his entire outfit. Something we put literally years of design work into. So being able to show off his face and his mask for the very first time, it's a big moment for us at E3.
Yeah, this is super creepy. And I got to say, the Scarecrow sequences in all the previous games have been some of my favorite moments. So the idea that he's the big bad in this game has got me super excited.
Look at that. Look at that. Look at those eyes.
Yeah.
Milky eyes.
Yeah, you don't even really need any fear toxin at this point to be a little uncomfortable,
honestly.
Right? Awesome. So where's the game at? When's it going to be done? What's next for you guys?
We are working hard. We are working incredibly hard. So Batman Arkham is coming out on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC in 2015.
Fantastic. All right. Well, thanks so much for joining us, Dax. Take one last scary look at this guy. For all things Batman Arkham Knight related and all things E3, you're already in the right place. IGN.